Hello, thank you everyone for joining us. This is the SlamBros broadcast. This is our first broadcast of what we hope to be many. We're going to try to do them every Wednesday at 2 p.m. We're going to try to keep them relatively short. Half hour is the max time that we are going. So no matter where we're at, we're going to cut it off at a half hour because it seems like that's probably the best amount of time. We're going to try to squeeze the information in, so we may talk quickly because we do want that half hour to be power packed. Just give you a little background about myself. If you don't know me, my name is Andy Slamans. I've been an Amazon seller now for 3 years. I've been full-time for 18 months. This year, I'll do close to $1 million in sales. My primary specialty now is private labeling. About 18 months ago, I started moving from retail arbitrage and online arbitrage to importing and private labeling. So that's what I primarily do now. I'm continuing to build that out, and that is my ultimate goal, is to have a very large private label business with a number of products that I'm continually introducing to the Amazon catalog. So that's a little bit about me. I'm going to let my partner introduce himself as well. So Nate, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey guys, Nathan Slamans here. Andy and I have just recently started the SlamBros, as he said. You can check us out at slamazonbros.com and then join us at the join our Facebook group as well. I've been selling for about 3 years as well, actually. I started at the same time selling as Andy. But I wasn't a believer like Andy was right at first. So I sold just books and stuff around the house, just real small time for about 6 months until Andy actually came to my house, was visiting with us and was showing me his sales numbers and telling me what he was doing. And actually, while he was at our house visiting, he was going out to Walmart and some of the stores and coming back with some great finds. And so at that point, I started to become a believer a little bit more that this really could work. So since then, I've been doing retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, private label recently, and now private label really makes up the bulk of my sales for 2015. But besides the selling, I've just recently become a full-time seller within the last 3 months now. So I'm a little more recent than Andy. But besides the selling, I run a couple of services that I help sellers to improve their business. One of them I've been doing for over a year has been the ungating, so helping people get approved in gated Amazon categories. And then I also do account management and reviews for people. So I help review their account, find areas where they might be missing out on money that Amazon owes them, or just review their account to make sure that they're compliant with things and that they're really meeting their business goals as far as profitability and cash flow management and all those things go. So that's really where I'm focusing on now. I do selling and I do account reviews to help people improve their business. And now Andy and I are really looking forward to helping sellers improve all facets of their business with the content and information we're going to be providing with SlamBros.
Great. Yeah, just so I'll give you a quick testimony. So Nate actually just did an account review with my account. I'm notoriously not very good at checking for reimbursements, or for that money that Amazon owes me for product that may just go, missing somewhere in the warehouse. So Nate did that for me, started 2 weeks ago. And since that time, he's gotten me back over $3,000 in reimbursements and refunds. So that's $3,000 is like a huge amount of money.
Yeah, you were letting that slide a little too long, but and there's actually still a couple cases we have open for you that I'm hopeful we'll get another 1,000 or two, but sometimes it was on a little longer.
And that's like what's great about having a service like yours. And everyone always says this, you want to do what you're good at. And like for me, what I'm pretty good at is like acquiring inventory and then, bringing products to the marketplace and just getting them in there. I'm not the best organizationally, and I'm definitely like the time, it's not time well spent for me to try to chase down, those dollars, although that is like a huge amount. So I really appreciate that. So that's great. That was an awesome introduction, Nate. So we're just going to try to get down to the 10 tips, and Nate is going to share them with us about how to best utilize Black Friday, and basically how to best make money on Black Friday. At the very end, I'll share with you my specific strategy that I did last year that netted me over $7,500, and it was just from shopping on Black Friday. My goal this year is to net $10,000 by just the products that I purchased on Black Friday. And you'll see, as Nate shares, it's very doable. But going back one step, what he said is, that I'm a believer. Every morning I wake up, I become a bigger and bigger believer in the Amazon marketplace. I just put a post on my personal wall, and the post basically was, hey, look, when you're looking for Christmas presents this Christmas, shop from Amazon, because when you do, you could very well likely be supporting small business owners like you and I, which again, like when you look at all the major retail stores from Walmart to Kmart to Target, where folks are buying gifts, all that money, the majority of it is going right up to corporate. What's amazing about the platform that you and I sell on is 40% of those products help support, right, families just like us, which I think is incredible. Which to me, again, I just become a bigger believer in it every day. So I'm really super thankful for Amazon. I know it's not the end all be all, but I do think that they are extremely innovative and creative in the way that they've allowed us to sell. So I'm really excited about that. So that's one of the reasons why I'm a believer. All right, Nate, so give us some of your top 10 Black Friday tips.
All right, so Black Friday, Christmas, the holiday season. This is what most of us are looking forward to all year, because, you hear it in the first, second, third quarter. It's almost fourth quarter, and you hear that all the way back in the summertime, So when I first got selling, I was part of a couple of groups. There wasn't as many as there is now, definitely. But I really had no idea what Black Friday was going to be like. I had never gone Black Friday shopping for personal reasons in the past, really. It was always just, Thanksgiving time was for the family and hanging out, which that's all good. But I didn't have the experience of it, or the rush, or the craziness. So I didn't really even know what to expect. So I had, some people gave a couple examples and lists of ideas, but Andy and I want to review some of those ideas, get those people who have never experienced a Black Friday, some tips and some hints of what to expect. All these things might not be completely new to you and breakthrough ideas, but I think they're good to review and something just to keep in mind as we get into Black Friday here. And it's hard to believe that it's coming up real soon here. So tip number one is to come in with a game plan. So my first Black Friday, I did not have a game plan. It was probably 2013 was the first Black Friday I came into, and it was Black Friday actually, and I sat down on my computer and was like, where should I go today? Where should I drive to? I thought about it a little bit, but I didn't have a game plan, definitely. So what I'm suggesting is that you do research ahead of time. Think of some of the stores that you might be interested in. All the major retailers are coming out with some kind of list of what's going to be available for Black Friday. I'll touch on that a little bit. Not that we can completely trust those lists, but you have some kind of idea what's going to be out there before the day of. We're all getting flooded with those email marketing lists already. If you're subscribed to any of them, somehow they get you on them, even if you don't subscribe to them. But research those lists and know them well is my advice. Last year, I researched the list ahead of time, and I had a much better idea of, even if I didn't know exactly what type of products I was going for, what the store was going to have to offer. And there's more than just researching their list. You have to do research on Amazon end as well. So my next part of this is to analyze those lists against Amazon's listings and platform. So you want to use your tools like Keepa, your Keepa graphs, Price Zombies, whatever you use to track products, Camel. You want to use those lists that you have with the stores and just go on Amazon and start doing research. See what's selling already, what's out of stock already. If Amazon, just last night I was doing research on some product. Amazon's already out of stock, which they could come back in. But looking at last year and the year before's price peak, usually around this time, mid-November, Amazon goes out of stock in some of these items. and the price just skyrockets after that. So do research on some of those lists. The leaked ads that Walmart and Target and all the big stores let out, leaked Black Friday. They're not always accurate, so they're not always final and accurate. So just because they say the price is a certain price doesn't mean necessarily that that's what it's going to be in the store. So sometimes you do have to physically go and to the store and see what the price is going to be on Black Friday. But it can still help identify opportunities. Also on those leak lists, they don't always tell you what the quantity limits are going to be. So that was a big thing. My first Black Friday, I wasn't ready for some of the quantity limits on items, which is always a bummer when you get to something you think you're going to buy them out and they're limit one. So they want you to share the wealth. But just be aware that that's something that can catch people by surprise, is the quantity limits. And then part of that beforehand, doing the game plan, is make sure that you have some of the apps downloaded beforehand. So don't wait till Black Friday to download your, savings catcher, Walmart app, and Target Cartwheel. All the apps that are out there for almost all the major retail stores, and then even the coupon apps like Retail Me Not, Slick Deals, Saving Catchers, all those sites. Make sure that you're not waiting till Black Friday to download those, even though most of us have them already. Just definitely, if this is your Black Friday, try to get some of those apps downloaded on your phone beforehand. So I think that's my first tip, is come in with a game plan. Anything to add to that, Andy?
No, yeah, that's great. I know for me, my favorite deal site is probably Fat Wallet, and everyone probably has different favorites. But I really like Fat Wallet. They usually have the ads from every store too as well.
Yeah, and on those ones you have to be right. That's why on Black Friday, this is an added tip. If you can, you got to spend. You almost have to have your phone attached to your hip that day, or your computer, your eyes, or wherever you're going to be out. Because when a deal hits Fat Wallet or something, it can be, depending what it is, if it's online or even in the stores, it can go pretty quickly because it circulates. So that's an added tip. But tip number 2 is update your online information. So a lot of people, I know we said this is going to be retail arbitrage focused, but a lot of people, even on Black Friday, are going to stay home to do the online shopping and sourcing. So this is a simple tip. I know it seems silly, but update your online information. So don't wait until Black Friday to forget your passwords for all your accounts. Have your Excel sheet or a program. I know there's lots of programs out there that can keep track of your passwords. I'm trying to remember.
FastPass is one, I think.
FastPass, okay, yeah. So either do something like that, or have all your passwords there. Have your credit card information up to date. There's been a couple times where I've gone to a site that I haven't gone to in a while, and my credit card's been updated since then with a new expiration date. I got a new card, new expiration date. And Michael, that's a good tip. Or Molly, have your shopping carts already loaded online. So there's some items that the price is going to drop on Black Friday. You can load your shopping cart beforehand with 20 units or whatever, so that all you have to do is literally hit the checkout button when that price drops. So that's a good tip, Molly. That's another added bonus tip from the chat there. So I think that's my tip number 2, update your online information, passwords, username, credit card. Make sure you have that updated beforehand. Tip number 3 is to double check the discounts. So you're getting those catalogs, you're getting your online emails. Many discounts and coupons have the fine print. Make sure that those coupons are, you're going in with the coupon that you want for that store. One, that if they have discount limits of quantity 1, what you can do, a lot of people will do, is bring your spouse with you, your kids with you, bring someone else with you. So just make sure you check those coupons beforehand. If they say limit 1, bring someone else with you, if you can, that can use the second coupon, that can use the discount again, but they technically won't count it as a limit 1 because you have someone with you. So that's tip number 3. Going through these quickly, but any questions or thoughts on that, Andy?
No, yeah, I'll explain what my strategy is, but the more people that you can get to go with you, always the better.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And yeah, Andy's going to give us his personal experience with that once I'm done with this. So tip number 4 is to plan your sourcing schedule ahead of time. So this kind of goes with tip 1 of have your game plan. I know a lot of people will actually map their start to finish route beforehand, so that they can maximize their sourcing potential. Now, you're not always going to – a lot of people try to get a schedule in there too. At 5 o'clock in the morning, I'll be here. 6 o'clock in the morning, I'll be here. I'll finish here at noon. Obviously, that's not going to work always because you never know what kind of lines or what kind of register holdups you're going to have. But if you can even just plan the route you're going to take, that can really cut down on wasted time of thinking, putting into your map quest, where am I going to go next? And you don't know for sure. So just plan it ahead of time. And as part of that, of planning your sourcing schedule, some stores will actually offer Black Friday deals on Thursday. So whether you're someone who, has decided, you might want to think about this beforehand too. Are you someone who's okay with shopping on Thanksgiving into Thursday? If you are, some stores actually offer the Black Friday deals on Thursday. They don't advertise it that way because they obviously want it to be the big Black Friday deal. But they sometimes will actually give you the Black Friday discount on Thursday. So that's something to be aware of. And then also part of that, some of the doorbuster deals this year, and you'll see it on, I think Walmart's a big one advertising it. Some of their doorbuster deals, they're saying are going to be online this year. So I don't know how exactly that's going to work. I don't know how it can be a doorbuster deal if it's online, but they're saying that some of their big doorbuster deals are going to be online. So that's another one where, like Molly's tip there, you're going to want to have that preloaded in your cart and be ready for that online deal as soon as it's going to hit. All right, number 5 is a question more than a tip. It is, are you going to assemble a team? And I'm not going to hit on that too much because this is what Andy's going to touch on. But the tip is, are you going to assemble a team? If not, why not? And if you are, make sure you plan that ahead of time. So Andy's going to talk about his team that he had last year, how much he spent, which he said a little bit already, but he'll just review that. And then just what's involved with the team. And then also part of your team, a little side thought here, is make sure that your team is responsible and safe on Black Friday, because some things on Black Friday can be crazy. So if you have, a certain team, if you have a little daughter or something, make sure you're not sending her as part of your team to the random part of the stores. Just play it safe with your teams, because Black Friday can get crazy, and some of those stories you hear of, people mugging or trampling, all that craziness, it really does take place in some places. So make sure your team is assembled ahead of time, and a good, responsible team that's safe. Tip number 6 is go to think of some of the stores that are off the beaten path. So this is different. People give you different opinions on this. Some of the more popular stores will just have if not better deals, and, you can still find everything. But a lot of success I've had in the past, and I've heard from other people, is going to some stores that aren't in the super crowded locations. So if you can go to a little bit smaller town, or a Walmart or Target or whatever you're sourcing at, that's in a little bit off the beaten path, you can sometimes get those deals that are going to be snatched up right away, or you have to wait in line super long somewhere else. Part of that beaten path, off the beaten path, is ask the managers if there's more in the back. Usually you would think, they're going to put all their stock out, it's Black Friday, but you'd be surprised. Some of the items that are good sellers on Amazon, maybe they're not the doorbuster, but they're selling well on Amazon. The manager is going to have some more in the back that they, Black Friday, the shelves are packed. This time of the year, they may have some more units in the back. So don't be afraid to ask. You'll hear this in all the groups. You just got to ask, whether it comes to a discount, through the earlier in the year. If there's a discount, ask for a bigger discount. Or, a big part of that is just asking the manager for something, because the worst thing they can say is no, or we don't have any more. But it doesn't hurt to ask if you can find them. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you don't have time to find the manager on Black Friday, though. But if you can, think outside the big box as well. So maybe you do want to hit some of the big stores like Walmart or Target, the big name stores at first. But some people are surprised that there's some good Black Friday deals to be found even at Big Lots, Walgreens. Some of the small, they're still big retail chains, but they're a little bit smaller than the big names that you think about when it comes to Black Friday. their advertisement and marketing team's just not as good as Walmart or Amazon, some of the big sellers, but some of these retailers do have good items as well. So part of thinking off the beaten path is not just literally being in a place that's less busy, but a store that's not thought of as having good Black Friday deals, but that may. Tip number 7 is don't wait until Black Friday. So this kind of comes in with, this is a little bit different than the game plan. I'm not talking about actual Black Friday. I'm talking about the deals of Black Friday. Sometimes we're waiting, I got to save my money. I can't, I'm just waiting till Black Friday to really spend and source a lot. Well, I'll tell you the last week or two, I've been seeing all kinds of deals online and in store. And mostly it's because the price is now getting driven up on Amazon. Don't wait until Black Friday. The deals are out there now. Most stores are having some kind of random Wednesday special or Thursday special, something every week now until Black Friday for the next 2 weeks or so. So be checking constantly. I know I spend some time, I'm doing this full time, so I can spend a little more time than some other people, but just check at least once a day. Get a list of all the sites online that you like to check, or make a route around your town of the stores you want to check, and check daily. You never know, from now until the end of the year, it's a good practice just to check every day, because prices are changing on Amazon. So you have to check Amazon, and the prices are changing in the stores. Tip number 8. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to try to unmute Tom here. I think he might have a question for you. So, Tom, do you have a microphone there? Can we hear you? All right. Sorry about that. We'll try to maybe get him a little later. Tom, if you have a question, you can ask it right there in the chat. So where the little bubble is, just feel free to ask your question in the chat there. All right. Sorry, Nate, didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, you're fine. And I'm flying through these pretty quickly, I feel like. So if anyone has questions, let me know, Andy.
Yep.
So 8 is just to maximize your margins. So this is something, this year I do feel like there's more sellers than ever in the past on Amazon. I also feel like there's more buyers than ever in the past, customers, people shopping on Amazon. But it's always important to remind ourselves to maximize your margins. So utilize the rewards and discounts as much as you can. A lot of stores are limiting resellers and the reward program. So I know Toys R Us, I got that email a month or two ago where they sent me, or I logged into my rewards membership and they told me I was flagged as a reseller. So they eliminated my rewards program. But still look for the rewards and discounts. If you're planning on signing up for a credit card because of a deal beforehand, I know one that I signed up for recently is the Meijer credit card, and Meijer's not everywhere in the country, but it is in my area. I'm in Michigan. They give you, randomly good discounts. So don't wait until it's too late or until it's too crazy to sign up for those credit card discounts. Tip number 9 is to have a goal of how much you want to spend. So Andy's going to touch on this in just a few minutes here as well. So what his goal was last year, what his goal is this year to spend. And then obviously you want to make a profit too, but just even having a goal of spending. Right now, my goal is from now until the end of the year, until almost Christmas time, is to spend at least $1,000 a day. So I know a lot of people have that goal even the whole year, but if I feel like if I can spend $1,000 a day, I can net somewhere between $800 to $1,000 here in December per day, hopefully based on that. So that's my goal as well. Number 10 is Monday is coming. So we say, Cyber Monday is soon after Black Friday. You may not want to spend every single dollar you have on Black Friday unless you really are finding some great deals. But just know that last year on Cyber Monday, after Thanksgiving or after Black Friday, that day alone, I spent $5,000 all online that day. So I felt like that was a good purchase. A lot of those purchases were Amazon to Amazon buys, but I was also buying from all kinds of stores online. So just remember, Black Friday is not the end of your sourcing or your buying. Pretty much once Black Friday hits, it's just a whirlwind until Christmas. So Monday's coming. Prepare for price dives a little bit on some of your products. So Black Friday has some crazy deals, doorbusters. A lot of times there is a price dive if the abundance or the supply is too much out there. So prepare for price dives on a couple items, or items that are blasted all over the big stores. But know that some of those prices do come back if you're patient. So I think that kind of wraps up what I had right now, Andy. Again, no breakthrough ideas, but good tips to remind yourself before Black Friday to prepare yourself, and some good goals to have before Black Friday hits. So let's hear what you did last year and what your goal is for this year, Andy.
Yep, sure, absolutely. So, I mean, I hope you guys caught that. If you're new, if this is a first Black Friday for you, or first Q4, Nate spent $5,000 just on Cyber Monday. So that was $5,000 he spent just on one day. You need to really be in tune with the ads. Go back and hear what he said as his number one point. Understand where those deals are, when those deals are going to hit. But there are a lot of veteran resellers who do not shop anymore in store. All they do is shop online, because those deals now are offered so frequently, on the web. So you definitely want to take advantage of that if you can. And I see a couple of people asked questions. Do you think it's going to be hard to get it into the warehouse? That is definitely a challenge, especially when you order stuff online. You're going to be receiving it. It's going to take longer than if you were to shop on that Thursday. It can be done, but again, you have to have a game plan on how you're going to turn around all of that inventory in a quick manner. So you need to have team members. You need to have people that you're going to be paying that are going to help you to be able to list, label, and get that stuff shipped out the next day.
Andy, real quick on that note, the Amazon shipping schedule that shows you the events and the last days to ship and everything is an important piece to look at, especially if you're new this year. I'll post it on SlamAzonBros.com, but it's always good to print out that Amazon shipping and events calendar that they give us. But I'll put it down on SlamAzon Bros. It's good to have that near your workstation.
The UPS too. You want to have the UPS shipping dates as well. So that's a big piece. So we have about 3 minutes left. I'm just going to try to shotgun you through what I did last year and what I'm doing again this year. So last year, I had 3 teams of three people. They were all college age or older. And I gave them specific products that they could buy in various stores. So we did it on Thursday. Unfortunately, you have to have people that are willing to work, on Thanksgiving. They arrived at my house at about 3 p.m. We had a team meeting, and I went over all the particulars with them. Now, a lot of people will give team groups like that gift cards, which that's the best way to go. If you can buy discounted gift cards, at the various stores, you definitely want to do that, because a lot of times you could save 10%. And 10%, if you're spending $10,000, that's an extra $1,000 of margin. So you want to try to get those gift cards if you can get them. And then give those to the team members to use. What I did last year is I just gave cash. So each team of the 3 teams that went out, I gave them each $4,000 in cash. They each had a specific list. And then in that list, I told them what first things to hit, all right? So there are some items in the store that are much more valuable. They're going to go a lot quicker. So the very first store that they went to, I said, look, before you get anything else, I want you to acquire as many of this item as you can. And then I had a second thing, and then I want you to, bump over to this. And so it was pretty much like a dummy list. All they had to do was find those items. Now, what I did ahead of time too is with those products, I looked them up on Camel, because I want to see what the average price that those products were selling for in the past year. Because here's the thing, and this is what a lot of people struggle with. You have to be patient on some of the products that you're going to purchase on Black Friday. The prices that on products that you buy at Walmart or Target, they are going to go down. They are going to tank, right? And a lot of people panic. And they want to get their money back, or they're okay with just making $1 or $2. if you really want to be smart and if you want to make good money, you have to be able to be patient and you have to be able to wait out all the people that are going to sell low. So it's really a cash flow issue. And so, realistically this year, my goal is to net $10,000 just on the products that I purchased on Black Friday. Last year, I netted about $7,500. I spent a little over $8,000. So those 3 teams that I sent out, now I didn't go out at all. I just sent those 3 teams out. They would come back to my house because 2 of them only had cars. They would drop off the products because the cars were packed, and then they would go out to the next store. And so I was talking to them on the phones. If they had questions, they would call me. But basically, it was like I was the home base, helping them unload all the products. So that was a way that really worked for me last year. I'm going to try to do 4 teams this year. I'm going to try to have a better list of products, and I'm going to try to have them go to more stores. And so it was a great way for them. Again, most of these kids were in college, so they made really good money for like 7 hours of work. And college kids like that kind of action, because the Walmarts are crazy. And so they all enjoyed it. So all those guys that worked for me last year, they're all coming back again this year. And I asked them to grab 3 more friends to add another team. So that's how I did it last year. That's a way that you could do it. You have to have cash flow, though. You have to have those gift cards, or you have to have that cash. And like Nate said, it really has to be people that you trust. As well, and people that are responsible. So you don't want them, they have to monitor, like when they're checking out, because that's such a crazy day. You really have to watch what the cashiers, like how many times they're entering a product. Maybe you're buying 50 of that product. You have to make sure that they're not entering in like 55 times. And so those are some of the things that I go over with my guys as well, is they really have to monitor how much, product that cash register is ringing through. Because again, these guys aren't shoppers, right? They're not resellers. They're just there because I'm paying them. So I want to try to emphasize the important facts like that to them as well. So that was the way that I did it last year. This is the way that I'll do it this year. And again, I think that I'll be able to clear 10,000 on that day. So Will asked, how much do I pay him? Well, I pay my help on that day very well. All right. It makes it worth their time. I think I gave them between $16 and $17 an hour. And so, and then I also, like, if they got some of the really good products, the different teams, I gave them bonuses. Because if they get those good products, then my margins go way up. And so I try to incentivize them that way as well. So that's how I did it. Again, you have to be able to have those folks that you can reach out to. But if you want to make that day, which a lot of people don't, and I totally understand that, if you want to make that day a working day, and I'm talking Thursday, here's a last tip too. A lot of times stores will say that their Black Friday sales start at 6 p.m. That's not true. A lot of times they'll start selling that stuff at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. So if you want the really good stuff, right, at the stores, you need to have your team members there. I would say at least an hour and a half early, surrounding those crates that have those really good products. So don't trust that it's going to start at 6 and try to get your team members there at 6, because the good stuff is going to be gone by then. You need to be there like an hour and a half early to be able to really surround those products. And then, you got to train them to that. It is a bit of a fight. Again, if you've shopped on Black Friday, you know that the old ladies are elbowing you and pushing you out of the way. And so I, had to tell my guys, you have to be aggressive. Like those products, you just got to bang them into your cart quickly. And unfortunately, you can't think about the other folks because there'll be other resellers there sometimes too, trying to get them in their cart. So that's how I did it. It is a very easy way to make money quickly. And again, the key though is you have to be able to turn that product around, get it in right on that Friday, and then try to get it out at least by Monday. You want to that's the last day to send it into Amazon. All right. Okay, so one question and then we are done. How do you choose your products? You want to look at all the ads. So right now, you need to spend time in gathering all those ads from those big box stores and you want to go through them and you want to compare them to what they sell on Amazon. And again, I think a huge tip is see what it's sold for the last year on Camel. See what the average sales price has been, because that'll tell you that if the price tanks, you're going to be okay. You just have to wait it out for 3 months. So I bought 250 Nerf guns last year at Walmart. They were like $10. I had to sit on them for 3 months. But once I started selling them, I was making $15 per Nerf gun. But right away, the price tanked, and basically a lot of people were selling them breaking even. So you have to be patient on that. And again, this is what I say too, try to stay with name brand stuff. You generally are okay if you stay with name brand products. You're going to be okay if you play the waiting game and you're patient until everyone sells through. So always try to stay with those name brands. All right, you guys, we've gone over. We're at 2:35 right now. So that's all. Hey, I encourage you, if you haven't checked out the website, SlamazonBros.com, or if you haven't joined the Facebook group, you can check that out as well. That's Slamazon Bros. Just type it into the Facebook search bar. We're really looking forward to connecting with all of you. Thanks for taking time out of your Wednesday to hang out with us. We hope that you find the information valuable. We will be back here again next Wednesday at 2 p.m., and that's our goal, is to be here every Wednesday at 2 p.m. All right, thanks a lot, you guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.